Hare Krishna, everyone. So today, uh, in the Bhagavatam class, we are going to read verse 333.3. Let me share my screen and then we'll start with the prayers and then we'll read the verse. Here. So first we'll start with the prayer. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalaakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utpadkamam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupa Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishvanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyasya cha Kripa Sindhu Vaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah नमां विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे Hare Krishna. So the verse we are going to read today is third canto, 33rd chapter, verse number 3. The title of the chapter is Activities of Kapila. So we'll start with the verse, we'll read translation, synonyms, purport, and then we'll talk about some things that appealed in the process. So in this verse, if there is anything that comes out, it's on account of my gurus, and anything wrong comes out, then it's my mistake. So please forgive me for that. I ask for forgiveness right in the beginning. So let's start with the verse. Sa eva विश्वस्य भावान् विद्यते प्रवहेन विभक्तवीर्यः सर्गादि अनिहौ अविता अवितात् विसन्धिर् आत्मेश्वरो अतर्क्य सहस्रशक्तिः स एव विश्वस्य भवान् विदन्ते गुणप्रवाहेण विभक्तवीर्यः सर्गाधनी हो अन्वितात् विसन्धिर् आत्मेश्वरो तर्क्य सहस्रशक्तिः. Synonyms. Sa, that very person. Eva, certainly. Vishwasya, of the universe. Bhavan, you. Vidate, carry on. Guna pravahena, by the interaction of the modes. Vibhakta, divided. Viryaha, your energies. Sargadi, Sarga Adi, the creation and so on. Aniha, the non-doer. Avitatha, not futile. Abhisandhi, your determination. Atma Ishvaraha, the Lord of all living entities. Atarkya, inconceivable. Sahasra, thousands. Shakti, possessing energies. So we'll read the translation. The translation and purport by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. My dear Lord, although personally you have nothing to do You have distributed your energies in the interactions of the material modes of nature, and for that reason, the creation, maintenance, and dissolution of the cosmic manifestation takes place. My dear Lord, you are self determined and are the Supreme Personality of Godhead for all living entities. For them, you create this material manifestation, and although you are one, your diverse energy can act multifariously. This is inconceivable to us. Translation once again. My dear Lord, although personally you have nothing to do, you have distributed your energies in the interactions of the material modes of nature. And for that reason, the creation, maintenance, and dissolution of the cosmic manifestation takes place. My dear Lord, you are self determined and are the Supreme Personality of Godhead for all living entities. For them, you created this material manifestation, and although you are one, your diverse energies can act multifariously. This is inconceivable to us. Let's read through the purport as well. Purport. The statement made in this verse by Devahuti that the absolute truth has many diverse energies, although he personally has nothing to do, is confirmed in the Upanishads. There is no one greater than him or on an equal level with him, and everything is completely done by his energy as if by nature. It is understood herein, therefore, that although the modes of material nature are entrusted to different manifestations like Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, each of whom is particularly invested with different kinds of power, the Supreme Lord is completely aloof from such activities. Devavati is saying, although you personally are not doing anything, your determination is absolute. There is no question of your fulfilling your will with the help of anyone else besides yourself. You are, in the end, the Supreme Lord, Supreme Soul, and the Supreme Controller. Therefore, your will cannot be checked by anyone else. The Supreme Lord can check others' plans. As it is said, man proposes, God disposes. But when the Supreme Personality of Godhead proposes, that desire is under no one's control. He is absolute. We are ultimately dependent on Him to fulfill our desires. But we cannot say that God's desires are also dependent. That is His inconceivable power. That which may be inconceivable for ordinary living entities is easily done by Him. And in spite of His being unlimited, He has subjected Himself to being known from the authoritative scriptures like the Vedic literatures. As it is said, Sabda Mulatvat. He can be known through the Shabd Brahma or Vedic literature. Why is the creation made? Since the Lord is the Supreme Personality of Godhead for all living entities, He created this material manifestation for those living entities who want to enjoy or lord it over material nature. As the Supreme Godhead, He arranges to fulfill their various desires. It is confirmed also in the Vedas. Eko bhunam yo vidhati kaman. The Supreme One supplies the necessities of the many living entities. There is no limit to the demands of the various kinds of living entities. And the Supreme One, the Supreme Personality of Godhead alone maintains them, supplies them by His inconceivable energy. So, couple of things come out very, at least to me, when I read through this, some things pop out. Man proposes, God disposes, the plans that we make, how the material nature is controlled, and through energy of the Lord, through Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Shiva, and how they have been given different powers. Then there is something here which also pops out. Um, why are we here? So Lord created this so that we fulfill our tendency to enjoy the material nature. And then he arranges to fulfill all the desires. There was one more thing which came out while I was reading this. Here. We are ultimately dependent on Him to fulfill our desires, but we cannot say that God's desires are also dependent. So there are many, many things which can be talked about in this verse uh, because it touches upon so many subjects. We know of the roles that Lord Brahma, the creator, Lord Vishnu, um, as the maintainer, and Lord Shiva as the destroyer or annihilator have. They have been given all these roles, and then they perform their responsibilities. We also know the cycle of time and how at the end of every yoga cycle it happens, and then at the end of every yoga, when the yoga changes, then also some some resetting happens. At the end of yoga cycle, annihilation happens. Um, Manvantar, and then so many other concepts we know. So all those are responsibilities which have been given to um, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Lord Vishnu. So we are talking about Chirodakshai, Vishnu, I think, if I'm right. There are uh, so we being normal human beings, we all have our desires. One thing when I was listening to a couple of lectures, one thing which came out was one Prabhu was giving a very good example of Prabhupada, and he was saying that uh, when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur established Gaudiya Math, and when the movement was progressing, at that time, um, of course, it was progressing, but then there was a lot of effort that he had put in. But once Gaudiya Math started becoming big, um, there were a lot of clashes which started between people. And then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said to Prabhupada that it will all be, broken. It will all get finished. It will all get burnt. Uh, so because he could see it. Uh, these are not normal, ordinary people like us. I mean, we also have some desires and some intentions, and there is some, I would not say vision, but then we all have, based on our experience, different intuitions on how things happen, what is going to happen. We make our own assumptions and we think about them. But then when some elevated souls like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, when they make some of those, they are not ordinary visions because they are uh, much more evolved souls. So they see so many things much ahead of time, and they are here again to fulfill Lord's desire, and Lord has assigned, Krishna has assigned them some responsibilities. So that is why they are here. Um, so Srila Prabhupada, when he started getting, uh, so Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, he told Srila Prabhupada, if you get money, print books. So he did not question him, though, and Srila Prabhupada himself has been said to be the representative of Krishna. And Maharaj was in one of the lectures in the current Vyas Puja, which happened just like a couple of weeks back, 1.5 weeks back. He was also mentioning that somebody was asking, and then they asked Prabhupada, and Prabhupada was saying that that I was in Golok Vrindavan. And then Krishna asked me to go here, go to the earth to fulfill this. And Prabhupada said, no, I don't want to. I'm happy here. And Krishna said, no, you'll be happy there as well. That is my desire. And so Prabhupada came here. And Prabhupada went through so much process and pain, uh, printing the books, distributing Back to Godhead magazine. We all have heard and read in Lilamrit how he struggled through all of this. And then when he came to US, and I think somebody was asking him, what do you see here? And he said, I see so many temples and so many devotees, and it's all going to happen. It's just separated by time. So he had that vision, he had that power, he was given this power. Uh, so we, living entities, ordinary ones, we are absolutely controlled by the Lord. And some special ones like Srila Prabhupada, they have more power. But Lord is not controlled by anyone. So Srila Prabhupada, while struggling through all of this, he made that statement, and then we all have seen how the movement grew, how much effort went into it, and you know, generations spent their time and effort and blood and sweat uh, to where we are at this stage. So it's all uh, we all should be very, very thankful to where we are. Though when we, some things when you see here, when I was reading this and I was listening to some lectures, all these different avatars that Lord has taken, you call it Varaha avatar or Kurma avatar, none of them are dependent on anyone. So they come, I mean, they, they do the thing entirely independently. They don't look for so many associates or help or anything. Um, in Varaha avatar, in Kurma avatar, uh, in Lord Ram's avatar, Parshuram avatar, for example, they did not need anyone. They did whatever they came for doing completely on their own, without any help, without any support. They did not need anyone because these are all, um, like it says, part of his inconceivable power. But we don't have that kind of control, nor we have that power. But then, if you see this statement, we are ultimately dependent on him to fulfill, but we cannot say that God's desires are also dependent. So his desires are not dependent, they are independent. When he desires, then he does what he wants to. A very, when I was reading this, a man proposes, God disposes. Um, I had a very small service in Vyas Puja this year, um, very small, um, just controlling the crowd when Maharaj distributes cookies. And I was like, okay, I mean, um, when the time comes, and we all planned that we will have 5 lines, and so that movement can happen much faster, more smoother, and announcement will happen, and then we'll go ahead and form the lines. So we spoke to some uh, devotees, and that please come to the front when the announcement happens. And we were all ready that okay, when the announcement happens, uh, and then we'll go. So it so happened that when Pushpanjali started and before the offerings were, when Maharaj was to distribute cookies, it all happened, spontaneously, one after another. There was a lot of crowd around Maharaj because Pushpanjali was happening, and then there was no opportunity for any announcement, and Maharaj started distributing cookies. So we had our own plans of having 5 lines and controlling the traffic so that people get it in a timely and orderly manner. It did not, and all those plans remained plans. The end of the day, when it started, then we were just trying to do damage control, just making sure nobody gets hurt. in the process, that only one side is moving forward. So somehow it went through, but then again, same thing. We plan so many things, but things happen the way they are supposed to happen, and plans get changed and challenged all the time. And it's not, this context is because many of you were there in the Vyas Puja event. You would have noticed it. So it's more relatable. But even in our ordinary lives, in our day-to-day lives, in our work, um, we can all see that whatever we try, we plan, not everything goes as per the plan. Sometimes things do go, but most of the times there are some glitches, some things change, and there are so many factors. We don't have control on many of those, but we still plan. So there are so many variables. We are very small beings in the overall scheme of things, but we do think that we are very powerful. We are very, um, what is the right word? That we can control things, but then things don't happen the way we want it to happen. Things happen the way Lord wants it to happen. Sometimes when, when we go to the Lord and ask for something, it does happen, and but then that is because the Lord is respecting desires of devotee, so that He pleases pleases the devotee for some temporary time. Um, the end of the day, living entities were created because they wanted to enjoy the material nature, and that was the sole reason why we all came here. So, uh, there is still 5 minutes. So with this, I would stop talking. If some of you or any of you have some thoughts to share, feel free to. Otherwise, we will close on time, and we'll all get to our day-to-day activities.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
I was thinking that, we often hear that ours is service department and Krishna is the results department. And yeah, I mean, I think just accepting that fact itself brings a lot of relief. Otherwise, we are thinking, okay, this position of being a doer, that, I control my circumstances, I control the results, is actually a very troublesome situation for us. But understanding that the results are in Krishna's hands, he is Satya Sankalpa, right? Like whatever he desires, whatever he wills, he just has to will. I mean, and it's going to happen. That is actually a very strength giving understanding. And I think even theoretical understanding of this brings a lot of strength, like, and faith and fearlessness in our hearts. We were My husband and I were listening to Bhakti Vigyan Maharaj, and he was telling us
Mm,
three what do you call three analogies. He said Bhagavatam can be looked at.
mm,
One analogy is a lamp. Then the other one, we hear, right? Purana Kodunonditaha, as a sun. Then Nigama Kalpataror, so as a ripened fruit. So the first analogy, he said, like, for example, if there is a dark place and you bring in a lamp, well, first of all, if it's a dark place, we are fearful. We don't know what's going to happen. Where are we going to stumble? So our world, our material existence is like that. But if we read Srimad Bhagavatam and if we even understand this first thing, how the world is created and who is behind it, that kind of a thing, then it's like bringing a lamp into the darkened room. It immediately brings in light and the fear goes away. So I was thinking that, that just understanding that Krishna is behind everything, or like Krishna has absolute power, his will is absolute. We can just desire something, but it may or may not happen, depends on Krishna's will, is actually like bringing a lamp into the darkened room. It drives away the fear. Um, So yeah, I mean, thank you for bringing that up, and I think that's very strength giving. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Yeah, very, very good analogies. And I was when you were saying this, I was thinking it happens so many times in our lives also. Like, we want to do things in a particular way, it does not happen. And then again, always this question comes, and we have all gone through, a lot of reading, study, whatever, um, which says that this thought that and we know this, we keep hearing this, we keep reminding ourselves, but then the tendency is to always forget. Um, but then, the more we can remember the fact that we can try, we can plan, we can do everything, but the fact that we have to give the results, we have to leave it to Krishna and then accept it, that itself is very, very calming and very soothing in a sense. Um, it gives a lot of strength, like you said. Fantastic points. Thank you, Mataji. Anyone else has any other thoughts? 2 minutes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam, just an appreciation, very, very wonderful class. So many points, and Mataji's reflection is so nice, so that we can start our work day. Have a beautiful day, Prabhuji, and Hare Krishna. Nice class.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you for sharing.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please
Hare
accept
Krishna,
my
Mataji. Dhanvat Pranam.
regards to Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada.
Shisham.
One thought that's kind of, you know, ringing in my head and ear is, I don't remember who mentioned this, but while absolutely results, is out of our control completely, but the effort that we put in, right, to put in with, to put that effort with our whole heart, right, and so I think the phrases that were used were, work, right? You put in the effort, like it all completely depends on you, but pray for the results. I mean, not results, but pray like everything just completely depends on Krishna. So I feel like, if I can keep that in mind, that's liberating for me, because then I know that, I have to do my best, but results are totally reposed dependent on Krishna, and I have no control and no attachment. So just wanted to share that as well.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, it's a point that we all have to keep reminding ourselves. We all read through it, we tend to forget it, and then something comes in and some situation happens, and luckily we have some of these uh, reference material where we keep getting reminded of this, which is what I think our go-to moments are, when we get some of those reflections and peace on our mind. Thank you, Mataji.
Okay.
So with this, we'll close the class for today. Vanchakalpatarobhyo कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव